Hello friends, here we will see the work Almond Trees written by Derek Walcott. If you did not subscribe my channel, please subscribe for more videos like this. Now we will see about almond trees or the work The Almond Trees. This great work received Nobel Prize in the year 1992. The main theme of this work is struggling days of Caribbean people during the colonization of England and French. How those people struggled and what are the ways they came up from that hazardous days. How Indians struggled under colonization of England. Such a way, Caribbean people also struggled. Now we will look about the author. He was a civil servant, a poet, and a visual artist. His first poem published in his 14-year-old. Main theme of all his works, language, power, and place. The poem is too lengthy, line by line explanation we will see now. There is nothing here this early, cold sand, cold churning ocean, the Atlantic, no visible history. Poet says about ocean, seashore, and the large beach. There is no use from all these. Place gives us the image of Atlantic Ocean, long beach, and sand. It does not say anything regarding our future. Also, it doesn't say anything regarding history. No visible history. Next stanza. Except this stand, bent as metal and one. There are 2-3 stanzas stand together and all the meanings are same. The poet says about this Caribbean country has the history. Also, he uses almond tree as a imagery. He symbolizes by through almond tree and says the history of Caribbean country. Twisted bark of almond tree says about the forgotten past of Caribbean countries. Also, it invokes the beauty of history of this motherland. Altogether, it symbolizes culture and history of Caribbean people. Foam haired, salt grizzled fishermen until their lengthened shape amaze the sun. Here, poet first time introduces a living character, fisherman, his hair like foam haired. Salt grizzled fisherman. This fisherman is too experienced in salt water. He observes his surroundings and says there is no visible history. He was negative towards his history. Poet again introduces history. Here there is no history visible, but he says really there is history. The struggling of those people is not forgettable. They cannot forget those struggling days. Colonization period was too hazardous to the people of Caribbean country. We say there is no history, but history is there. Words represented in the end of the poem. In the second line, there is there. It is not fisherman, it is almond tree. Almond tree stands against to the sunlight and creates shadow. This sun also knows this place has its own history. How almond tree created its own shadow around its branches. In the same way, Caribbean country also has its own history around many years, especially the struggling under British. Stanza by noon in scarves, sunglasses, Pompeian bikinis. Now poem comes to present days. It's the time is noon. There are many girls, those who are wearing sunglasses, small dresses, which is suitable to the beach areas. They wander in the bay area or beach area and enjoy the nature. Another important factor of these Caribbean countries, there are many European countries like England and French took many slaveries and brought to this country and again continued as a slavers of those colonization people. So these nowadays present people knows the struggling of their ancestors during colonization. Land of Caribbean people knows there is a history of our ancestor also. Culture which came from Africa is not in green color now. It changed towards brown like a plant. It's not always greenish. The poet compares those history to a plant. In the sense, culture may not change. Plant always visible in green color, but here it looks like very brownish in the sense dried. It became old and unbearable. Poet continues, of twisted coppery, see almond trees. Here we see multiple concepts. The slaves who came from Africa, they also did not survive in this land. They also got much struggling in those days, especially from the colonized countries like European Union or the French country. They also appear like plants. They should be in green color, but they turn up towards brown. They did not survive in this land. They dried, they became old and vanished one day. Here, twisted almond in the sense how the old roots and the new buds grow together. In the same way, the old generation and the upcoming new generation will join together. African unique culture and the Caribbean culture joined together and formed its own new sort of culture.
The fire's acetylene air, it still swear a pale skin copper with its flame.
This line's poet says, the sinking ship leaves acetylene air, which is very poisonous and inflammable. Sunk. Many trunks also sunk and lost many trunks. While sinking, it has many colors which leaves acetylene air, which is very poisonous and inflammable. It again recalls the history which is ready to vanish, which may be African history or the Caribbean history. It is also like the acetylene air which is ready to finish somebody, and the like a ship or the sinking trunk. African brutal colonization collapsed the life of African people as well as colonial Caribbean people. The poet says the same thing. The pale skin copper with its flame. He says about the slaveries or the workers of this land whose skin burned out or became pale by the air of acetylene or poisonous thing. Again, poet says the condition of slavery people or working class people, how they struggle under the colonization period by their brutal colonization. Even they lost their history, identity, and culture. Those people struggled to get back their old culture or set back their historical moments in upcoming days or in the present days. It's too lengthy poem. Nearly it has 13 lines. We finished 6 lines altogether. If you want remaining part summary, let me know in the comment box. Also hit like button and subscribe my channel for more videos like this. Thank you one and all.